DJ Navy Diver again. I'm in the middle of building a set of Scrims for my tripods that you can, there's one of the tripods here. So what I've measured out the base, and nominally I have it 3 feet between legs. So I've measured 2 feet because this is pretty stretchy material based on some advice that I've seen. So I've measured out one of the panels here, and what I'm going to do is put on the second panel because I want to make a two-sided one. So I'm going to make a little angle off to the side and a second triangle, and then I'm going to cut one as a template, and then I've got another piece of spandex material to make up the other one. So the first one will be the template for the second, and then I'll get my wife to sew the seams on it. And I'm just basically using about 1 inch for the seams, and that should be enough to make it durable. Good material. It was inexpensive. I think it was, for each sheet it was 20 or 16 bucks. So I've got 2 sheets for about $32, and a little bit of sewing, and hopefully I'll have a new set of Scrims. So we'll film the progress and you can see what it looks like at the end. So there you can see I've got a long straight edge, just a piece of trim I have, and I'm using that as my perpendicular to the triangle. And what I've done is measured it from the baseline. The green is actually what denotes what the trim is going to be, or the hem is going to be. And you can see that I've measured a distance here, and then what I'll do is I'm going to measure a second baseline, which will be off angle a little bit, and from that point I will be able to get my baseline. So I've taken the baseline now and moved it over, translated it over to the second triangle for the second side of the scrim, and you will see the second triangle forming. And then once I've got it all mapped out, then I'll cut it out, and that'll be my template. And there's the second triangle mapped out, and I'll just run some tape alongside the long edge of my trim there. And then I will cut the outside boundaries, and that'll be my template for a double-sided scrim. So there you have it. There's the 2 triangles side by side, properly mapped out, and hopefully once I cut that out and get my wife to sew the hem on it, I'll cut out the lycra material, spandex, whatever you want to call it, and then this should fit perfectly by my measurements on my stand, which is not a tall stand, so this one's actually smaller than some that I've seen online. What I did was I got a 4-foot wide piece of lycra, and it's 65 inches long. So it looks like it'll fit perfectly, and of course the material stretches, and once I set up the stand, you'll see how it'll tighten up and all the creases and everything will go away. So there, I've cut the template out, moved it off to the side, and now I've stretched out my second sheet, and I'll drop that one over top and then use that to cut out the second sheet, and then I'll have 2 equal sized scrim templates or lycra sheets for the scrims, and then we'll get her sewed up and see what it looks like on the stand. So there you have it. Had to get a second person to help lift it over because this stuff is really light. So I just got my wife to hold the tip right here, and then we picked it up and moved it over, and there's a few little crinkles and everything, but like I say, the material's forgiving and you can stretch it out afterwards. So let's see how it looks after we get this one cut, and then we'll get the wife unit to sew it up. And there you have it. Thanks to my lovely wife. This is what you get. That's actually 2, one over top the other, and they're exactly the same size. So now we'll get her sewed up and see what it looks like. So I forgot to mention one other step. And that's to reinforce the corners where the legs of the stand are going to sit in. So what I've done is I've trimmed out these triangular pieces here that will be folded in a seam, and then it'll provide a pocket for the legs of the stand. So I'll have one for each of the 3 stand tripod legs. So the middle one, I'll probably just do a semicircular hem or whatever and trim it around, and then that'll be a pocket for the center stand leg. So I've duplicated the triangular pieces so that the other piece will be exactly the same.